Everybody, Mike, go. Do your thingy. Go for it. Oh, I have you muted. Oh my God, it's my fault. It's my fault. I'm so stupid. All right,
we're live, buddy.
I know.
All right. This is Psycho Sid and JR over here. Here we go. Hi, everybody, and welcome to an all-out pimping, big dog advocating, Iron Manning episode of the Brothers of Discussion. We're going to talk everything from Brock Lesnar being the hottest free agent in sports entertainment, kind of, but not really. Touch on some of the icons succumbing to COVID, god damn it, and most importantly, because those guys are okay, we're going to get you pumped and primed for another all-elite pay-per-view this weekend. And just like the boys' clubhouse in elementary school, it's going to be mostly no girls allowed. And we're going to talk about that and get all whiny and preachy and stuff for at least a few minutes. Man, as you know, it wouldn't be a week of pro wrestling if it wasn't hot and spicy. This is tequila colored, but it's actually peanut butter whiskey. Matt, how are things over at the Casa de Addie's Dead?
They're doing it. It's still going great. Does that sound confident? It's going great because Mike, I just got off an interview for if anybody's interested. Again, it's the Detroit Red Wings podcast. This guy's got 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. He is the top representative for European hockey coverage. The guy's just an absolute genius, and it was a blast talking to him. So I had a pretty busy podcast day, and as everybody can see, we've got brand new graphics on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. I'm pretty stoked about. I'm also, once I turn it back over to you, I'm going to be working on my audio again because Matt hears himself echoing and it's zero fun to listen to.
Is it driving you insane?
I hate my voice so much. It's disgusting. Like, think about, Stephanie, how are you doing? Good to have you back. Everybody, you can see, you can see the chat right there. Let me turn my finger. It's right there. If you guys throw in any questions, we're going to see them. Mike, can you see it? I found out
by Finn Balor's sculpted nipple. Go ahead.
If you guys see.
If you get lost, it's not the Big Dipper. It's the Finn Balor nipple, the Prince of Nipples, right there.
Amy
That's what you're looking for.
All right, Amy, here's the thing. When you say I have a happy voice, that sounds like that's like when somebody's like, oh, is he hot? And, well, he's nice. Like, he's happy all the time. I appreciate it. It sounds like we're avoiding that Matt has a whiny, icky voice. All right. Everybody, any questions?
Well, Matt, she really tried to put some frosting on it, and you just wiped it right off. So there we go. What do you want, whiny voice, Matt? What do you got to tell us?
Well, you can see in the upper left corner of the video here, we are at BOD Podcast on Twitter. We're at brothers_of_discussion on Instagram. You know what, everybody? Let's just look at that beautiful logo I made right in the middle. I like it quite a bit. You've got Asuka, The Fiend, Biggie, Jericho, MJF, Orange Cassidy. That thing is it's a beauty. Amy, we do it for you. You're here all the time, so anything I do, all this stuff is just to make it more enjoyable.
Everything I do, we do it for Amy.
All right, YouTube channel, Brothers of Discussion. I just started updating the channel, so it's a little bit easier to decipher. Mike, you and I apparently are behind the ball here. We need to set up a YouTube channel trailer that I think would be better if it featured both of us, since we're the Brothers of Discussion. And then, we'll have that done in the next week. But everybody, who's ever watching right now, thank you for tuning in. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty at the start, so We do apologize for going on a little late, so we're gonna jump right into some wrestling talk now that we got all that business out of the way.
Yep.
Was it?
Oh, it sounded like you're going to ask me about getting a house, but it sounds like you're busy talking about wrestling. That's okay. All right, here we go. Fuck me, right? So there's a bunch of wrestling news that Matt wants to get to.
Wait.
Yeah?
Mike, I just remembered. How's the house? We've been talking about it for weeks.
Oh, kind of you to ask.
How's buying going?
Oh, kind of you to ask.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, it's going really well. We went back and forth because when we first toured the house, we liked the house, and one of the things we wanted to include was the washer and dryer because, wow, they were Attitude Era Diva sexy washer and dryers. They have that really cool thing. I've never seen them because most of mine, I'm just happy when they're not filled with bed bugs. It actually had glass exteriors, so you can watch your laundry go round and round and round. And we were like, yeah, you guys could throw those in because we got a lot of repairs to do on this house. And they're like, no. So we were like, oh, okay.
Isn't that fun?
So we get all the way through the process of winning the bid and underwriting the loan and get to closing. And we're at the title agency and they put us in back-to-back rooms and it's just about over. And then our realtor was just kind of texting or something. And the other one walked into our room and she's like, do you guys want to come say hi to the sellers? And my lady and I kind of looked at each other like, yep. Sure, we'll go say hi. And we go over there and they're sitting there and they're like, hey, so we decided we're going to give you guys the washer and dryer. We're like, what? Like, that's how they open the conversation. And before you think they're really altruistic, I guess they're going somewhere where they need a gas line and these are electric only. So, was it a nice gesture? Yeah. Was it the nicest? No, I was going to point that out, but I wanted the washer and dryer. So we're going to get them. We're going to get, I guess, who would the Attitude Era Diva be the equivalent? I guess Sunny and Sable. That's what I'm naming our washer and dryer.
Cool.
Sunny and Sable are going to be washing my clothes every day, and I can't be more excited. But yeah, we gave them some free occupancy for a month to get their affairs in order, and it sounds like they're only going to need 2 weeks because the other house they're moving into is ready to roll. So everything's WWE in your house. It's going to be in my house pretty soon.
Mike, I'm telling you right now, you have no idea how lucky you are, and I'm glad that you're not going to have to experience the unlucky side of that, because, man, it can really... We waited forever. We didn't get the things we wanted. Yes, I am tweeting right now as I'm talking, so if anybody looks like, hey, is Matt distracted a little bit? Yeah. Well, but I'm sharing the show, so it all shakes out. Snip, snip, snip. All right. But...
That's me making a shake and bake chicken. If you don't have the visual, I'm doing a gesture. Right. It looks like shake and bake chicken.
For the listeners, Mike, it looks like he was jerking off a Ziploc bag to make sure his chicken was spicy and delicious.
Yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. So, yeah, the house is going great. I'll be hosting some wrestling parties, and someday, by God, maybe we'll have Amy over.
I'm hoping you're gonna be ready for Payback.
I've been ready, man. It's over in the can. We got it in the tape. It's on the network right now.
I wrote it like 12 times in the notes. I hope that you're ready for Clash of Champions, which is confusing because they keep saying it's hashtag WWE Clash, and then I'm like, oh, Clash is a new name. No. Anyways.
Yeah.
So I'll also say, since I did that interview earlier, I am... All right, so that started at 3. So Matt may have been involved in some day drinking.
Oh boy! So here we go.
Yeah. So Matt,
I'm doing some 8:45 drinking. If that's okay.
That's a little fuzzy.
I don't know if the producers WWE been doing some day drinking, but Matt, we just closed out SummerSlam. We barely were able to recover from that, and Payback came right up on us. Matt, I think the first question to kind of pose is, back-to-back Sundays with pay-per-views. Obviously, as somebody who runs a wrestling podcast, I'm sure you were excited to have even more opportunities to dedicate your free time to wrestling. But Matt, how did you feel the timing of Payback? Did it work?
I'm gonna say yes, and I'm gonna come back to this idea that like I understand the pickle that the WWE was involved in. Also, I have to point out, Venus Blue on Twitter replied, "Sonny and Sable doing the laundry is living the dream." I don't.
I'm living it. I'm living it right now.
I mean,
I feel every time I go to do laundry, I'm gonna be turned into Jerry the King Lawler. You know, just.
I think it's pretty obvious we're living the dream when you see how beautiful these graphics are. It's we're rolling in dough. I think everybody knows that now. Not all right.
A couple of Ted DiBiase's over here, but yeah. So back-to-back weeks, SummerSlam and Payback.
Yeah, to answer your question, I think it comes with like this level-headedness of like, where is this coming from? The WWE only has so much time at Amway, they want to take advantage of it, and I think that they gave us enough with the Roman Reigns stuff that I didn't know how much I missed Roman Reigns until I saw him like come to the ring, especially now that we have, you know, this new version of Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman. Like, man, I got jacked up, man. I was excited all day, and I think you and I have said before, on too many occasions probably, where it's like, I haven't been this excited for a pay-per-view since blah, blah, blah. This is another one of those occasions, and I don't know if I can put a pin in what blah, blah, blah was, but I think I went into that thinking the only thing I want is Braun Strowman to get pinned. Like, and I think that was easy to ask for. I think we all knew it was coming. Because I don't mind Roman Reigns holding the title. There's that little weenie who's on Twitter that's always complaining. I refuse to say his tag, but people share his videos every day, and then he has like 50,000 views, and everybody says, I can't believe this idiot, you know, gets any attention. And I'm like, well, that's why, because you guys keep sharing his stupid video. But here's what happened. And without me saying his name or saying his channel or anything like that, he's representing this fan that doesn't understand that there could still be an amazing story told between The Fiend and Roman Reigns. And I think the only way it works is if The Fiend is taken down a champion version of Roman Reigns. I don't think it works. It works the same way with The Fiend holding the title and like him wanting to just defend it against Roman, because that's not, I think we know that's like not what The Fiend's about. It's almost like as confusing as it was when Aleister Black was the NXT champion, and you kept saying to yourself, he does not give two shits about being the champion. What the hell is he so a champion? Like, the only thing that mattered to him was becoming champion. It was like, that has nothing to do with his character. Same thing for The Fiend. The Fiend is about like teaching lessons and changing people. I don't know. I don't want him to change. I don't want Roman to like go back face or anything, because I want to see where this goes. But I think ultimately all I want to say is to go back to the question you asked like 10 minutes ago. That was all I needed. Like, they gave me enough for back-to-back weeks of pay-per-views. Just knowing that Roman Reigns was going to be there. And I think I've said enough on this podcast that, you know, I'm not the biggest Roman Reigns fan.
Yeah.
And Amy agrees. She says that guy on Twitter is a tool, and his mom still cuts his toenails. Amy,
I wish I could get that kind of help. Somebody cut my toenails.
Amy, that was a slam dunk. That was, goddamn, that's fucking great.
Is that service available? That's pretty cool. I think I don't think my opportunity is going to come till I'm like in a senior home, you know, and you're just kind of vegging out, and some poor nurse has to come and clip your, 8-inch long yellow toenails. But I thought Payback was a success because, like, the psychology of it is, all right, we just had SummerSlam. Now it's it's payback for all the people who were wronged at SummerSlam. And it makes sense that it should be like right around the corner, not like I'm going to pay you back 30 days, maybe like 35, depends on kind of the end of the month, SummerSlam sometimes in the middle of August. So I might see it at the end of September. And by then, I'm going to get my revenge. And it's just kind of like, well, I mean, if you were really upset, you probably would have done something a little bit earlier. But this year, the writers were like, hey, the word is payback. I mean, we could have done it Monday Night Raw. We could have changed it to Super Monday. But you know what? I know we got to do these on Sunday. Let's do it Sunday. I just thought up and down the card, we were really treated to some stuff that I don't know if we really deserved for a middling pay-per-view. I don't even know if we were focusing our attention enough to appreciate that Riot Squad Iconics match. Our buddy Bob of the Hurt Business defeating Apollo. And then we had a who's who of young guys fighting the status quo guys. Big E defeating Sheamus. Keith Lee defeating Orton. Matt Riddle defeating King Corbin. It was like the most AEW card you've ever seen in your life, with like mainstay WWE guys taking some 3-second tans to the up-and-comers. The guys, Big E's not brand new, but a singles push for him is, I would arguably say, brand new. The only kind of poo-poo match was that, and I kind of take the blame for this as a wrestling fan. It's kind of like WWE overbooked the shit out of that Roman Reigns, Bray, Braun angle to make sure that, all right, they're going to piss and moan when Roman wins. So let's really, really try and make it look like everybody's even. Everybody's leaving on top. So not only was it an Extreme Rules match, it was a triple threat match. Roman didn't show up. They did the spot where the ring broke. Roman came in and smashed everybody with chairs, tried to pin, still couldn't win, then had to throw in his finishers, then didn't pin the champion. Then he pinned Braun Strowman. And then he added Paul Heyman to all this. And it's just, I think they really tried to be like, all right, it wasn't just one thing. You can't get mad at us. But then we were like, that's too many things. We're still mad at you. So WWE was just in a lose-lose situation. But ultimately, did Payback succeed? I can't wait for more SmackDown and the build of Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman cutting promos against The Fiend. We have some political debates around the corner in November, but I am really excited to see Paul Heyman and Bray Wyatt go toe-to-toe on the microphone. So that's what Payback accomplished. So I think it was a success.
Hey, so it's Quentin Tarantino. I'm right there.
Oh, and I'm so sorry. I would be remiss. I want you to talk, but I was also my favorite match of the night. I forgot to mention Shane and I defeated Bayley and Sasha, which as a booker, it was literally 4 heels fighting each other. But Bayley and Sasha weighing a combined 180 pounds against 400 plus pounds of evil on the other side of the ring. Just by proxy of looking like the David to Shayna and Nia's Goliath. A+ booking. That was one of my favorite matches. I want more of that feud. Probably not going to happen. Bayley and Sasha breaking up. Probably. Whew. I'm pumped for Shayna and Nia to kind of run the gamut. I love it.
That tag team is giving me Kane and Daniel Bryan vibes. I think they're starting. Like, it's one of those immediately turning from heel to enjoyable to watch, especially if you've seen some of the stuff Shayna's been doing on, like, the Facebook Live videos.
With her fish sauce? With R-Truth?
Oh, yeah. And she's asking them to take it down because they're not allowed to show Shayna smiling, which, honestly, Shayna, I did my best to try and get some superstars on the show.
I knew you had a soul. I knew it. Yeah.
Well,
her avocado mayo and hot sauce. Yeah.
We also saw her live when who was she hugging? Was that like her old trainer or something when we saw her at NXT?
Yeah, it was like an old trainer or UFC buddy, and that was one of my favorite moments in wrestling, personal wrestling history, when I said, Shane is a mean girl. And her friend turned around. She's like, she is. So that was a good moment for me. I think about it a lot.
Hey, a real quick question. If anybody's listening, just let me know if the audio's okay. I'm trying to play with it here as we keep getting used to going live. But
yeah.
let's talk about Brock Lesnar being a free agent. Is he going? We all know what the question is. Is he going to AEW? It's not. Is he going to New Japan or any of that?
Is he going to Impact? Does he want a piece of Eric Young? Huh?
Could you? Do you think Impact has the funds? Actually, let's put this out to the Brothers of Discussion faithful too. Does anybody think that Impact has the funds to pay Brock Lesnar to do one match? Because I'm going to say no. And I don't think he's going to AEW either. I don't know. I'll jump in here first, and then I want to get your thoughts. But, I mean, this is just, if it's anything, it's like negotiating tactics. It's Brock trying to put that fear in Vince of, oh my God, I might go to AEW. And, what do you think?
I don't know how many more times you have to hear wrestlers going, I turned down the money to be creative. I don't think Brock is turning down the money to be more creative. I think he's asking for more money to be less creative because he just wants to be in 1 to 2 10-minute matches a year. And I don't think he wants to promote them. I don't think he wants to be outside of his farm. I don't think he wants to be outside of milking his cows. So, no, I don't think there's any credence to him leaving the mightiest cow of all, the WWE cash cow. He is latched onto those big money flopping udders for the rest of his wrestling days. Brock Lesnar is not going to AEW. He's literally probably just thumbs up. And I think the one thing that kind of tells us that it's going to be a while before we see any Brock, and that's okay. I mean, it'll be exciting when he comes back. Less is more right now. Is Heyman. His alignment with Roman Reigns is kind of like the final, all right, maybe this isn't just, some clickbait wrestling article. Brock is going to step away for a little bit. And you have an incredible asset with Heyman. It's like having LeBron James just on the bench in his warm-ups, kind of looking her over. And I guess I'll check in and, rips the pants off and he gets to go play next to Roman Reigns. So it's pretty nice to have him off the bench for a guy you're going to, strap a Keith Lee sized rocket to the moon with Roman. So,
oh shit.
Yeah. Just a good move. They kind of go hand in hand, those two stories, Heyman and Roman and Brock, with the long piece of grass coming out of his mouth and some overalls and a pitchfork. That's Brock for the foreseeable future, man. That's what I see.
So you made me check the notes because you said Keith Lee, and I thought he was on our notes. Am I wrong? Was that old news? I don't know. I brought it up. Keith Lee not getting buried, right? I didn't put it on the notes because I thought, anyways.
Nah.
What? Right, like not being buried, right? We're on the same page there. So we're still wrapping up Payback, and you mentioned Keith Lee, but even after a Monday Night Raw, I think he's still getting the attention he deserves.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the people he's involved with, kind of, if you think he's buried, I mean, he's in there with Randy Orton. They're not, trotting out Bo Dallas for him to pad the win-loss record with. You know? I don't think that he's being buried. I do think that he is not quite the jewel of Vince's eye. I think that is pretty obvious when he came out in a I think you properly diagnosed the entrance attire as an anime reference, but to me it looked like he was one of those little dancing hula girls that you have in the front like dash of your car. I wasn't quite sure what the reference was with the anime.
That was Keith's decision.
That was Keith's decision.
Is the Spirit Bomb. That was also a reference to Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
Don't put that on Vince. That was a cool choice by Keith Lee. Broly's
character. And I guess we can't even blame Vince for the music either. I guess that's some CFO $ related stuff. But, we've talked about it in the past that Like Triple H gets Motorhead, and Keith Lee just gets like a generic. I couldn't do it if I wanted to.
Well, it's I mean, there's not too much to dissect there. I just got all scrambled because I thought it was in our notes, and now I'm seeing it's not.
No,
But
you're fine.
Mike, you want to talk AEW considering a second show? I thought that we would talk that maybe the two shows should be on separate days.
Well, I mean, we just talked about Brock. Less is more. So AEW's like, how about more is more? They want to add another show. Stupid me. I've been watching Dynamite, and for some reason I kept putting off. Check out AEWheels.com, and I thought, well, I do kind of want to see this, women's tag team tournament. Let me turn it on, and it was just a way for you to join the community and buy some swag. Those sons of bitches. So it's not really like a second all women's show. I thought, it'd be like Allison Brie and on Glow, kind of that kind of wrestling, and that's not what we're getting. So AEW considering a second show.
Swerve.
If they're going to do a little market research and ask some of the wrestling podcasts, hey, what do you guys think of even more wrestling content? I would definitely say, please no. I think part of AEW's charm is that it's once a week. I think that the way that they kind of tongue-in-cheek will follow the blueprint of WCW Nitro being on TNT.
Yeah.
I don't think that people were necessarily clamoring for like, oh, we need another Thunder. I don't think we need AEW Lightning on Friday nights. I don't think we need that at all. I think they're in a good spot where I know that as they're being TNT, they have a huge priority to sell basketball on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Wednesdays, there is no basketball usually. So I think they're in a good spot to just, kind of hang tight, just do the 1-2 hour program and do the slow builds up to these kind of quarterly pay-per-views. I think it's a good way to go, but the tea leaves say that it's going to be a go, Matt, and the second show is coming. Matt, we have a lot of wrestling that we cover every week.
I have a question.
What would you say is the best day to really try and pimp out another AEW show?
See, here's what happened. Well, real quick, let's call that. Let me do so we can do our sweet transition. That's a hot tag. Oh, you know what? I put a bell on that. Okay, we're done. All right, Mike, make sure you say hot tag so I can do that sweet ass graphic.
Hot tag.
Here's the thing. All right, that's gonna be the audio. Tag tag.
Tag.
Mike, here's the thing about your questions, and they make me so goddamn angry because you ask the questions where the best answer is for me to go no day and don't do it. I have only thought about the fact that AEW shouldn't do more shows, and you ask me which day is best. All right. So Matt's going to base this off of his schedule. Monday is reserved, obviously. Friday, I mean, Monday and Friday, you just don't want to compete, right? And it's so funny because I was going to talk about, like, Dynamite just moving to Thursdays or something. And here we are. Thursday's probably the best day at this point. Because you don't want to compete directly with Raw or SmackDown. You're not going to compete with yourself on Wednesday unless you want to do a super late show. Do 2 shows back to back. And the second one will just be like F words and all that fun stuff. Put yourself on Adult Swim for like 15 minutes. I think that would be fun. You know what? That's a great idea, I think. I think if they did some hardcore wrestling on Adult Swim for 15 minutes, like just put together a quick show or like a really bloody match, that would be genius. Anyway,
All right.
Saturday's not gonna work because that's their paper.
Saddle up.
Sunday they don't like doing wrestling because it's the Lord's Day, so that leaves Thursday. And Tuesday, you don't want to go up against Impact. Are you nuts? No. So, I mean, we're trailing off here because we need a more fun topic to talk about. Mike, AJ Styles and The Rock made an announcement that they at some point tested positive for COVID-19. I'm kidding. It's not a positive. It was a positive.
Wow.
It was a positive segment because they tested positive for COVID-19. Now, The Rock says he's at a point where he's not contagious. So he didn't say I have COVID-19 right now. I think he said.
Does he mean like timeline wise or genetically? Like The Rock doesn't get sick.
The Rock is so strong. Like his cells can actually break down COVID.
Even his white blood cells are swole. You know.
He actually shits COVID while he had it.
Wow.
And AJ said at some point he also tested positive. I think the only thing I want to say about this is that it is important for everybody to come out and say that they have tested positive to kind of bring awareness that this is a real thing. I think there's too many people that are starting to... I just went through Lowe's to buy some paint, and nobody at Lowe's knows how to wear a mask. So, if folks, can we hit the reset button on caring about this? Because... it's only going to get worse when we start to ignore it.
I mean, you were at Lowe's. I would have been at an indie coffee house if you wanted to feel a little bit better about people wearing masks. I think everything The Rock does is very pointed. I think it's produced in a good way because I think he knows how many people pay attention and hang on to every single word he says. Yeah. So even The Rock coming out and saying, I have COVID, my family has COVID. I think he's even trying to kind of, spread that awareness, which it sounds like you're kind of alluding to, where even The Rock can catch this. So it's not a joke. You should definitely do something to keep yourself safe and healthy.
Right.
The people's champ has it. So I think this is literally somehow even The Rock found a way to get some positive PR out of getting COVID.
I will say The Rock is setting himself up for the Brahma Bowl 2024. I can't. Every tweet and Instagram post he has seems like he's trying to be diplomatic about things, but also like tearing down like the current administration with every word he throws. I'm voting for The Rock. I just want everyone to know. I don't know what party he's going to represent, but I have to vote for The Rock. I have to.
Like, it does two things for me. One, it helps make the Mike Judge movie Idiocracy come to life when a pro wrestler becomes president. But also, in another way, famed astrophysicist and pop culture aficionado Neil deGrasse Tyson has also said, why do we only make lifetime politicians president and not like the people who are the best in the field, whether they're like the best mathematicians,
should be a scientist,
physicists.
That's what
France
likes.
Maybe an excellent philosopher or something like that. And I think a pretty strong argument for The Rock being a benefit to the local community around his house, to charities around the world, to just positive energy to people who check out what he's doing on a day-to-day basis in terms of like mental and physical health. I think there's worse candidates. I mean, I don't really know what The Rock feels about, how he's going to help me in certain tax brackets. But, as far as leadership goes, if you wanted to find somebody who knew how to comb through and find a good, an excellent team to kind of flank him and give him sound advice, he's got a pretty pristine like public image, and that's not an accident. That's not like a thing that he does on his own. He has a really good team of people. So if you had that kind of team, like also helping, in a spot of real leadership where change could be made, I don't think it's that off. It's not the worst case scenario, I gotta say. So yeah, I think we went into this COVID segment kind of cringing, but by God, The Rock made COVID positive. God bless The Rock.
All right, so do we want to take apart NXT Super Tuesday?
Yeah, we can't really do the Wednesday Night Wars. This is another week where they kind of the shows didn't quite match up. And I know the last thing we want to do before we head out into the sunset, Stone Cold style, is a little AEW All Out primer. But Matt, we're not able to do the Wednesday Night Wars this week, but I don't want to steal all the thunder because I still want you to weigh in. Don't you think that this was a better viewing experience to not have to hot tag yourself going back and forth between USA and TNT on Wednesday night? That it worked to have them on different nights?
Graphic again, just for funsies. I mean, yeah, I think these two competing, they're taking away from their own viewership. I don't understand. Like right now, I don't understand the point of. They both prove that they can break 1 million if they're just on separate days, and I don't like. Why isn't that the ultimate goal? Like it almost. You look back and go, wow, that was super stupid of NXT to just go up against AEW. Like they've taken away 400,000 viewers every time they did it, and they just proved going on Tuesday, not having to go up against AEW and lose again, that more people are going to watch it. Oh, except for all those people watching Impact. Sorry, I just enjoy taking shots.
Just had to worm it in there.
No, it's so much easier. I love not having to think about AEW like while it's going on, and of course there's people that are watching right now and they're saying to us like, oh, what about AEW Dark? But I mean, come on, nobody cares. It's fine. It's fine. If you like it, it's fine. But I mean, give me Gargano, Ciampa, Finn, and Cole for an hour, over a YouTube show any day of the week. As we follow along on YouTube if you can. No, if you're free, watch us on YouTube. But I mean, it's easy peasy for me. It's an easy decision, and it felt so good, and it should. Going forward, it should be the choice of both of these companies. I don't know if it's a game of chicken. I don't know if WWE's never going to do it because they're going to look at it as a loss. But why don't they just do it as like a good business decision for these shareholders that they're always concerned about? Like, come on. Stop being stupid. Stop fighting each other. Make it easier for me. But Mike, I'm sure. There's no way you disagree with that, right? I'm stealing the easy answer here. Are you thinking, no, the war can't end? Further into the night?
Selfishly,
that's all I from the Independence Day quote.
Oh, yeah. We'll not go quietly.
Oh, that's right. I even got it wrong. God, I'm like Dad.
Well, what's funny is when he does that, I always think of that he's quoting John Cena, but it's actually a poem by Dylan Thomas. But it's John Cena who did it for like WWE 2K something. Yeah. Selfishly, I love having the wrestling on different days. I hate having to go back and forth. I hate feeling like, now I got to watch the whole thing in its entirety some other time. And I got to this was a good match. I can't believe I missed this segment. But now it's easier to do it the other way. It's going to be short-lived. There's one more Super Tuesday, I guess, coming up, and be careful when you look that up because that will take you to some political debate links. That's what Super Tuesday originally was. There's party party exclusive debating on those days, and then there's going to be cross party debating here coming in November. But no, I hate having to feel like I have to prioritize, and the only people who could win are the major wrestling promotions, and the losers are people like, maybe I want to watch Casey Catanzaro in a match for once. Maybe I want to watch Thunder Rosa for once. Maybe I want to watch my Bronson Reed segment. But, at the same time, Jericho is cutting a promo about the Mimosa Mayhem match. And comedically, I don't know, wrestling, if, he's an old man. He can't quite do it anymore. But on the mic, he's still excellent for me. So it's just kind of like the only possible winner is one of the producers, one of the wrestling companies. And the losers are the talent, because you might miss their segment because you tuned into some other thing. So, luckily I didn't have to miss Britt Baker smearing pizza on Big Swole, which is something really made me giggle like a little schoolgirl. I thought that was a really funny bit. And I think we're going to talk about Britt a little bit more in a minute, but yeah, it benefits the talent to not be a selfish, egotistical, dick in a pissing contest, putting your shows simultaneously as your competition. So you're really only hurting the talent, and you're only hurting your own viewership, because I have to go back and forth to figure this out.
Well, let's talk about Super Tuesday, and then we'll jump into All Out, because I'm really excited to talk about.
Let's try to sprint through these a little bit.
Yeah. Mike ends in a tie. I actually tweeted like 20 minutes before the match ended. And this is Super Tuesday. This is the Iron Man match, 60-minute we're talking about. I said, I hope that this ends in a two-way tie, because I wanted to know that they had a rule set up. Like, I didn't want a four-way tie. I wanted them to have actually taken the time to like put rules together. Now, they did kind of go around that, and they kind of just made it into like William Regal, on the fly was like, we're going to do a match next week. So on one side, I got what I wanted. On the other, it still didn't really pan out like I wanted. Like, I wanted it to be like, Bad News Barrett pull out the rules and go, well, if it's a two-way tie and there's no time left on the show, then they go to the next week. Like, that would have been that would have been cool if they had like a whole rule book for this match. But it really was like, that was a 5-star match to me. That was everything I wanted. Those are the 4 best guys to ever fight in NXT, or four of the best. Not the best. I'm not saying they're the top 4, but they're in that category of the best ever fight in NXT. And it really, like, it paid off. Like, it didn't, there's always that space that things could be better, but I think ultimately we got everything we could have wanted out of that match. And then to know that it's just going to continue, and we're going to turn this into a bit of a story with Adam Cole and Finn Balor. And I also tweeted, hey, this is a continuation that we've been arguing, that the Tommaso Ciampa Johnny Gargano thing is the same for Adam Cole with William Regal. And I think I said this is another nice page and what I hope turns into the next chapter of the novel that is Adam Cole versus William Regal. Like, when you go back and look at Adam Cole's entire career with NXT, it's always been wrapped into some decision by William Regal where it looks like he's holding Adam Cole back. And man, would it be great of like William Regal to get like that one more match, and it's, like one of the greatest pro wrestlers of all time up against a guy that's going to make him look like $1 million. And, Adam Cole helping William Regal look like he's young again.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I want it so bad. But for the time being, we're getting Finn Balor and Adam Cole real quick. Finn Balor's winning next week. That's who I picked to win this 4-way. So, Mike, is there any way Adam walks away as NXT champion? Same thing to the Brothers of Discussion faithful. If anybody's out there watching, let us know.
No. There's no way Adam Cole's winning. This is about Balor. I just WWE is just it's almost like they're done with faces and heels. They're just done. Whether or not we're looking at that the women's tag team title match from Payback, where we had Shayna Nia versus Sasha Bailey, four of the biggest female heels the company's ever had, and there's just a rooting interest because of one team is visually an underdog. So it was interesting about this match, the way that it was produced, the way they kind of had the commentary running. The only baby face was the sick fuck himself, Tommaso Ciampa, as the crowd is quick to remind us. Balor fights dirty all the time. Cole always has his cronies, Undisputed Era behind him. Gargano cheats, not on his wife. Very important distinction. He cheats with his wife. And then Ciampa, he was the baby face because he broke his spine once. That was it. He's always been a dick. And I've cursed more talking about Ciampa than I have the rest of this episode. So it's just kind of interesting that all we did was use Ciampa's real life injury to paint him as the underdog. He's the last guy to get a pin. He's one of the last guys to nearly get into that three-way tie. So he's kind of on the outside as the baby. And they didn't even really book it like that. So it's just kind of interesting that that's how much wrestling's evolved for NXT. But yeah, of these four guys, I honestly don't need to see any of them as champ, including Ciampa outside of Balor, who I think this is, if you're really going all in or all out, hitting the reset button on this guy and making him relevant again. I think you need to give him not a 24/7 championship, not an Intercontinental, not a US. He's got to get something big. He's got to get something that has some prestige. I know Matt likes that word, prestigious. May have a little blog for some of you wrestling fans.
Top 10 most prestigious. I say prestigious. Pro wrestling titles.
Prestigious.
I thought it was kind of fun how instead of telling me their top 10, people said no. What's it called can't be prestigious, and I was like, no, I didn't. Anything can have prestige. There's different, like, it's just a measurement in your mind of like quality and experience. It's not. It's like it just means that something has less prestige than the other. Now I will say I got
Christian Bale having a secret twin brother his whole life. That's a prestige, I think.
Anyway,
I like that movie. Okay, yeah, I was trying to find a way to worm it in.
We've talked about it before. That is a movie that I could go back to at any time and at any moment. Yeah. I can start from the middle and go all the way to the end. So good. All right. So I just tweeted out we're going to be talking all out predictions. So let's do it, Mike. Let's start with the buy-in. Yay! All right.
We're doing this because of what they've done to Britt Baker and Big Swole. Yes. The women's division has zero storylines outside of Britt Baker being the role model on her rollaway chair and her constant bullying of Big Swole. I wanted to see the payoff of this match really badly. All the other women, all they do is vie for the title. That's all they do. I don't know who any of them are. No story, no personality. Even Hikaru Shida, I don't know anything about her. Luckily, I follow her on Instagram, so I know she likes animals a little bit. I know that Nyla Rose, LGBTQ. What else do I know about her? Nothing. They don't give those women anything to chew on. Nothing. Except for Britt Baker and Big Swole. And how did they reward those two women? Pre-show!
and they're putting production value into it, and they're still giving it away. This is a match that I would only tune in to, like I would tune in just to make sure I saw it. Now I do need to make sure that I point out Big Swole said on actually no, she said on an interview with another a wrestling media person. You know how that goes. They're not anybody. We're all wrestling media people. Nobody's really like, oh, I work for ESPN. Anyway, so she tweeted out.
How about a microphone at Guitar Center? All right, exactly. I'm the media. Go ahead.
So Big Swole said to this individual, I get that you all wanted me on the pay-per-view, but please tune into this. So it is our responsibility to make sure we tune in to only that match for the buy-in.
And then don't buy
arms, don't watch anything else. No. But here's the thing. The person that did that interview, they actually came around and made the assertion that we should just go along with Big Swole and be happy that, a year ago she wasn't on the show and now she is. I'm not putting that accomplishment yes, I would love to be on buy-in, and Big Swole's accomplishment to get there is humongous. But it's our responsibility as the fans, as the pro wrestling media, to, unfortunately, Big Swole still has to be political here. She's not going to come out and she's, she did a fantastic job saying, this is great, this is a huge accomplishment for me. Absolutely, 100% is. But as fans of Big Swole, as fans of pro wrestling, as people that recognize that there was more effort put into this, and they're saying, well, the effort doesn't matter, we're still going to put you on the buy-in. It's our responsibility to make sure that we say, this should be on the pay-per-view. We are not the bad guys here. Big Swole's not the bad guy. Big Swole's doing everything she can. She did the great job of telling the story. We know she's going to do a great job in the cinematic match, that is the tooth and nail match. And we have to watch it, but this is AEW doing the wrong choice. The wrong choice for pro wrestling, the wrong choice for women's wrestling. It's them doing that again. And again, I can't say enough that us wanting her to be on the main show is not taking away from this major accomplishment of Big Swole to get there.
I totally agree. I think it's definitely Big Swole's job to be a professional and to be diplomatic. It's our job to piss and moan and bitch about it because we can on her behalf. There's no risk on our side.
Absolutely.
I'm looking at the card and I don't know if I really need Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara instead of Big Swole versus Britt Baker.
The Young Bucks.
I mean, I get that the Young Bucks built the whole company. Jurassic Express is pretty over. I get it. I just Sammy Guevara. We know why he's kind of been on the peripheral for a while, and it's because of some extracurricular nonsense that he's been doing. So it definitely feels like that could have been a pre-show punishment for him. But instead he gets a broken rules match. Yeah.
Dark Order versus Matt Cardona, Scorpio Sky, and the Natural Nightmares. I don't. If it's a priority to get,
I'm gonna go potty. If it's a priority to get the women over, I don't think that they've set up is going to accomplish getting that whole division, making it feel prominent, making it feel prestigious, to borrow Matt's word there.
I made it up.
Yeah, Matt's word. What prestigious? I don't know what he's saying. But yeah, I guess we can move into the rest of the card. I mean, the buy-in is. I guess what they've accomplished is made it feel like you should watch it because we're actually putting, one of the few matches that's not just about championship gold or moving up in these very insidious, esoteric AEW rankings that I don't quite understand how one team could suddenly start climbing the rankings when I swear they've never won before. But we move on because we're still excited to watch this. We're just arguing on behalf of two women that we really want to see go to war against each other. We could do the Bucks and Jurassic Express. Matt, it's the one thing about this match, it's one of those. If you're not one of the big AEW fans, I don't know why they don't come out and say this is going to be a tornado tag, because the rules of tag team wrestling are going right out the window for this one.
It is kind of, I will say, I think everybody knows I'm more critical of AEW and its fan base than you are. But all these claims of, like, putting tag team wrestling on a pedestal, like, are we really doing tag team wrestling, or we just throwing four guys into the ring and they fly over the ropes a bunch? Because that looks like a ladder match to me, or that looks like any, we just watched four guys in an Iron Man match where they don't have to worry about who their partner is. They can hit anybody. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, maybe let's pull back a little bit, because and it's fun. Maybe it's just its own thing. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm making this argument and I'm making me look like more of a W.
Maybe, yeah. I kind of see where you're coming from. Like, we've decided, when guys slap each other in the chest, that is the most painful thing in the world, and you could lose a physical contest. We've all decided a suplex really, really hurts, and that punches, even if they don't leave bruises, even if they look like marshmallows, they hurt. We've all decided that's what wrestling is. Should we also decide that what the Young Bucks do is not tag team wrestling? It's four guys just doing a bunch of crazy shit. It's just its own entity. It's not a tag team match, and that's okay. Is that distinction important to you, Matt? I know it's important to FTR.
I sound like Jim Cornette right now, because I hate Jim Cornette. But are we? I'm gonna do it. Oh my God! Here we go.
Matt, you old fuddy duddy.
I can't even say.
Come on, fuddy. What do you got for us, fuddy duddy?
Watching like historically accurate tag team. Like, what is the big stink we're making about tag team wrestling being featured on AEW? But what they do is completely different from a Young Bucks perspective. So it's not the classic. So do we want tag team wrestling, or do we just want the Young Bucks to get their comeuppance, right? Do we just want them? Do they want the WWE to say, "Man, I wish one day we could have had the Young Bucks, but we just couldn't do it"? Like, is that what? I'm glad one of us has a level head, and then there's me, Jim Cornette. I don't get that shit. I'll pay to watch wrestling. Now I sound like...
I like Bray Wyatt, right? And I like his new, he's going to fight you in a swamp. He's going to fight you in a Pee-wee Funhouse. He's going to fight you in your own imagination. So those aren't technically wrestling matches. The Young Bucks, I don't think they were ever tag team wrestlers. I think they're just a couple of buddies who like doing wrestling moves at the same time. I don't think... There's two of them. I don't think that means it's necessarily a tag team match. There's no tagging involved. I think it's just a team match. It's two teams just trying to out-team each other. There's no tags required.
Yeah.
So that's what I think of that. Matt, I real quick, I'm picking. So far, I don't think we really made predictions, but I don't know. Ooh, I guess Britt Baker, and I'm picking the Young Bucks.
All right. Big Swole, Jurassic Express. Boom.
There we go. Let's split it. All right, Matt Hardy, Sammy Guevara. Let's give this as little time as possible, because I don't want to keep seeing Matt Hardy wrestle. It's over. It's okay. Sammy Guevara has not quite earned my interest yet. In a broken rules match, this is going to get way more TV time than it probably should. I think Matt Hardy's going to take a 3-second tan for Sammy. I think he likes him a lot. That's about all I want to donate to this match.
Yeah, I think it's funny that we've come up with all these rules why it's okay for Sammy Guevara to just, not have to be punished for what he said. But there's so many other humans that it's not okay when they say something bad. That being said, I'm not tuning in to watch this. I'm gonna watch it because I'm paying $60 for a fucking pay-per-view. What kind of world are we living in? But yeah, let's just go Matt Hardy because he's old, and because you said
let's move on to a match we're excited about. I do actually I do want to see the Dark Order versus
oh my god,
not necessarily Matt Cardona and Scorpion Sky and the Natural Nightmares, but I do want to see the Dark Order just kind of off the leash a little bit. So I think the appeal of this match is that it's not just Brody Lee, it's not just Evil Uno. They're actually letting the full plethora of these, masked. Apologies to Bray Wyatt. These masked fiends are just going to be in a massive match. And it should be like that. It should be like Kingdom Hearts, where the Heartless are just literally just flooding you, and you just got to swing your Keyblade as hard as you can and try and take out as many as you can. That's always the visual I had in mind for these guys. Maybe WWE is definitely stealing that with the what are they called? The Reprimanders or Retribution? I don't remember what they're called. But it should feel like that. It should feel like, if you don't have the right Keyblade, you could get overwhelmed. So I'm pumped to see the Dark Order try and flex a little Dark Order muscle in this match.
I think they need a win. That's all I'm going to say. Dark Order. All right, 21-man casino battle royale for the AEW championship opportunity. This is their way of saying, oh my God, it's so hard to write this story with having these rankings on a weekly basis. All right, so I can confess I don't think I've seen a list of the 21 guys, but I'm pretty sure that Murder Hawk is winning this. So I'm gonna go Murder Hawk.
I think that's a pretty solid pick. The only other one I could think of would be good Lord. I have his face. I keep wanting to call him Kip Sabian. the skateboarder guy. What's his name?
Oh my God. Well, here goes our live show, and all of our 50 people are about to.
Darby Allin. Good Lord. I don't know how I couldn't think of that.
It's Darby All Out.
Yeah, I always want a Arby's melted cheddar every time I think of him.
Well, now that our credibility's gone, you're taking Darby All Out, and I'm taking
Darby All Out. Our Darby melted cheddar melt all out.
I know, slice of apple pie.
Yeah. The other one that could be, because he's not really on the card, and I don't remember seeing any boo-boos come his way, is Brian Cage.
That's a good one.
And then, we haven't heard from the Bastard in a while. I don't know what he's up to. He's just, I don't know. He's Dr. Manhattan himself up onto the moon. I don't know what he's doing.
There's probably still room, too, for, Kenny Omega to get involved. I think if he, just walks away from Adam Page, which we're going to talk about that with the World Tag Team Championship match. But I'm still sticking with the Murder Hawk, because... Yeah, Murder Hawk. Boom.
It's not a bad pick. And Darby, I think he might be there because Brian Cage and the Murder Hawk are there. He'll be there as the underdog. The second to last person eliminated, probably.
Yeah.
I don't think you. I think you picked a really good solid choice there. Before we get into the gold, we got Chris Jericho versus Orange Cassidy and
this better goddamn
Tony Schiavone. Tony
God.
Schiavone made the very important distinction and said, we're going to have a Mimosa Mayhem match, which is from the mind of Chris Jericho. Much like the summer blockbuster Tenet is from the mind of Christopher Nolan. From the mind behind the Money in the Bank match comes Mimosa Mayhem. So Chris Jericho making sure he gets all the credit for orange juice and a little bit of the bubbly.
I mean, like, what are the chances that when he like proposed this, it was just him walking into a room? No, we're gonna call it Mimosa Mayhem. No, but Chris, what is it? It's Mimosa Mayhem. You guys are gonna
Mimosa Mayhem, man. Come on, man. I don't know. I think one of them gets
mimosa champagne.
I think one of them's getting dunked in a big tub, right? I think that's the gimmick.
I actually didn't know till right now, but that makes sense. So, okay.
Hey, hot tag, is Orange Cassidy going to be more or less over after a Mimosa Mayhem match?
Jesus.
Because he has to win. I don't think you can afford to have Orange Cassidy drowning in the bubbly.
I just don't want it to be the thing where 10 years from now he's like, why did I do that string of matches with Jericho? I
honestly don't see Cassidy losing. I think that Jericho wants that Mimosa Mayhem. I think he wants to be the one in his highlight reel swimming around in bubbly orange juice.
I think he wants that moment where he's swimming around in it and he can say bubbly and try and sell a few more bottles of his bubbly champagne. I like, from a marketing perspective, I think he just wants more opportunities to get like to screen capture some videos from AEW to put that all together. I know I'm being super mean right now, but that I kind of feel like that's where this is going, and we're gonna see a bunch of bottles up on the stage.
Well, I think the best case scenario is not Jericho gloating over Orange Cassidy drowning.
Right.
The best case scenario is Cassidy winning and Jericho.
This is it. You said yes.
Like my dude from Beer Fest when he was drowning in the beer, so he tried to drink his way out.
You know what? For movies, one of the worst bookings ever, because what was this, Trash Load? Garbage Pile. The character from Beer Fest. What the hell is his name?
Landfill.
Landfill. That's right. Yeah. Landfill drinking that beer, but him dying anyway. Worst booking in movie history. He was the best character in the movie. He had just come off those great scenes where he was playing with a puppet, and then drowns in beer. Like, his character was that he could drink any amount, so he should have lived.
Yeah. That's a whole other podcast. Matt, we're going to move on to the gold here. We're almost out of here. We got AEW Women's World Championship, Hikaru Shida versus Thunder Rosa.
Whoa.
I feel like some of the airs...
months at a time. Oh, I'm sorry. Thunder Rosa just showed up.
Roughly 11 days of build. That's what you want.
Look, she's deserving of a job. But can we get some story? Right? Like, there's... If they're trying to sell to us just this idea that, oh, it's going to be so amazing when she wins, because I'm picking Thunder Rosa to win this because she's already signed. Like, let's not play this game. Like, she's in. She's good. She's... Boom. Right? Like, that's what they're doing. I could go for some more story than just this shock that the person who doesn't have a contract is going to win the match. Otherwise, all right, let's say that doesn't happen. Then somebody who's just not under contract with the AEW is going to lose the women's championship match. Cool. Fun. Here's my $60. Snore. So, basically, if Thunder Rosa does not win this, fuck this match.
Listen, I'm not asking for like a 7-book epic where a boy with a lightning scar finally meets his equal in Voldemort. But can I get the 200-page Catcher in the Rye? Can I get that?
Right.
You know, can I get Clifford sees a police car? You know, can I get that? That was 8 pages. So once again, with the
X-Men: The Last Stand, or I'm sorry, damn it, I fucked it up. God damn it. X2, X-Men United, but we'll take X-Men: The Last Stand.
That was beautiful, man.
I just got my new Nightcrawler Funko Pop. So I looked over and I saw it because my whole desk almost came down like it did a couple months ago. Go to our YouTube channel, check it out. And then I thought, oh, there he is. Nightcrawler from X2. Stunned silence.
I'm excited for you to have that because I know you've been emailing and tweeting at the Funko people for quite a while.
Pops up on my time hub. Like, I have done it 8 times.
I just one quick note for Thunder Rosa, especially days after watching Andrade come out and the way WWE will anybody non-white, you are your skin color or nationality. That's your character. And it was such a nice, warm change of pace to see on AEW Thunder Rosa. She admittedly did have like that Day of the Dead face paint going. But she came out to this awesome death metal song. And it really kind of like, had me sitting up in my chair a little bit to see who this person was. And then she's kicking ass in the ring. So, case in point, Hikaru kind of comes out to like a traditional, like Asian sounding ballad. So it's kind of nice that Thunder gets to kind of be her own person there. It's a nice change of pace. So I would like to see her win. I would like to see her stick around. I would like to see her really inject some new energy into this women's division. And by God, please let her talk. I don't care. Just give her a few minutes. Let me learn who she is. I'm already intrigued. I want a little more. Give me a little, Clifford goes to the ice cream stand. It's like a 6-page book, but give me that. That's all I want.
I'll just say it wasn't an accident that.
Give me a single panel Ziggy. How about that?
I was gonna say it's not an accident that like Statlander became everybody's favorite, and it's because she was the only person that they gave like.
She had a modicum of character development.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was no accident. Come on, like, let's do it for one.
Let's do it. Come on, Cody. Come on. All right, man. We're down to 2 matches. Jesus. Kenny Omega and Hangman.
Can I do first? Or no, you go first, and then I'll do my booking because mine's quite the fantasy booking.
Oh boy, against I always want to say fart, but it's FTR. I don't need to see singles guys being the tag champs anymore. I think FTR alluded to that. I think they alluded to that being the end of this reign. The only thing that, I know what's going to come, and I kind of want to fast forward through it because I want to see Omega versus Jon Moxley. But I think this is when we see, the chinks in the armor. We see the dissension in the group. And I think that we maybe see Omega versus Adam Page coming up.
Okay, so yeah, I'm
kind of in that same
realm. But
kind of stolen my thunder realm. Thanks. Well, here we go.
So everything that I've been seeing like online has been saying this is the start of like AEW's 4 Horsemen. So we're talking Adam Page, FTR, and then and then we're throwing in the Perfect 10.
Shawn Spears?
Yeah, Shawn Spears into that. And it's mostly because of Tully being around. So he's going to put all these guys together. So that's what I've been seeing, and I don't hate it. I know we're talking about like another faction being built. So now we've got like 15 factions in AEW. But I think this would get a lot of good attention. And is it more like callbacks just to get people to watch? Yes, but I kind of like the idea of like a new version of the 4 Horsemen, only because I already brought up the X-Men, and it's what the X-Men do all the time, is give us new iterations of the Four Horsemen. I think it's something that is defined biblically and defined through comic books. It's a good story. It's something to keep, like, through the generations, like, bring up new ones. Like, it's this definition of not necessarily, like, the four best guys of all time, but you have an idea of what this represents, and I think if they're allowed to do it, if they're able, I think they should. Even if they're not allowed to be called the Four Horsemen. But I mean, you've got a guy doing cowboy shit. I mean, it just makes sense. Just do it. Sign me up.
Yeah, I'm not against that. One of my favorite movies of all time is The Warriors. So if AEW is just going to be a bunch of gang warfare, I'm all for it. I like the team aspect. I like the way they have the Elite, the Dark Order. They're going to have this FTR group, Jericho's guys. The more the merrier. I'm not against that idea at all. I could be on top of that. The American Nightmare group, all those guys. I kind of like it. Drawn a line in the sand, and it's going to be like the climactic battle in Anchorman. Where the public news team is coming out. That's going to be the best friends in Orange Cassidy. But I like it. I'm a fan. It makes me want to see some sort of big Survivor Series style matches. So I think there's a lot of positive in that booking. The last match, I don't really know what there is to dissect. It's the AEW Championship match. It's Moxley and MJF. It's a mainstay. It's an established top tier superstar versus the young kid who's probably going to be the face of the company in the next couple of years. I gotta say, I don't see MJF winning. I think that they want Moxley to kind of continue running the gamut a little bit, going through the gauntlet of the Omegas, the Hangmans, maybe even the Murder Hawks, the people like that. This match, I would be pretty stunned. And I love MJF. I would be pretty stunned to see MJF come out on top.
Okay, I thought it was like for sure MJF. So you're
wow.
me out. I really thought
wow.
they really held back on MJF at the start, and I thought that they knew what they had. Like, this guy could really take over the company. So I just figured the first title opportunity he got, he was gonna win. Like, no matter what the storyline was. The thing is, it's so weird. I feel like I get to see over and over on social media everything that MJF does. I see over and over everything that Adam Page does, and the battles with Kenny Omega and FTR. Especially Chris Jericho and Orange Cassidy. Mike, I see zero things on social media that Jon Moxley does. I don't know if that works for the company. I mean, from the perspective of, like, let's put your champion in the spotlight, let's have him represent the company. I don't see a lot after the show of people getting too excited about what Moxley does week after week. And everybody loves pretty much up and down the card whatever else anybody's doing. Especially when Jake the Snake's talking about, busting a nut in the ring. I don't know if you saw that. All of that gets so much more coverage on social media than anything Jon Moxley does. And I honestly couldn't be more ready to say goodbye to this championship run. I don't need it. I'm good. I think if anything, Mike, for Jon Moxley, I think it's proved how badly I want MJF to hold the title. I think, like, guys like Orange Cassidy, I think would, like, now I'm just feel like I'm starving for somebody like that to hold the title. And it's also proved for me that even given all the creative freedom in the world, John's not doing it for me.
Well,
give me ketchup and mustard bottles, man. This No, I'm kidding. That was shit too. But honestly, I'm at that point. Like I can't keep watching this guy hold the title. I'm good. I'm done. I'm tapped.
it just feels like MJF already has a title as maybe the best talker in AEW. So if they're going to spread the wealth,
Moxley's nothing without the title. This just in from the Brothers.
Woo! Breaking news.
Clink, at Michael_Clink says John Moxley's nothing without the AEW title.
That's not true. He's got Renee.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I think Moxley he could use the gold still. I think that he's still the face of this company because he transcends outside of AEW. You know the guy. I don't think they're pulling the plug on his reign. Not yet. I think it's going to be somebody a little bit older. I think it's going to be Omega, Hangman, somebody like that. I don't think it's going to be MJF. Not at this juncture.
All right. Well, recap. Oh, you know what? I haven't really said out loud what my winners were. Oh, no, I did. Thunder Rosa, FTR, MJF. I'm going Murder Hawk in the 21-man Casino Battle Royale. Orange Cassidy over Chris Jericho. We both picked the Dark Order. And you... Oh, shoot, I did this wrong. Now I've got to go backwards. All right, I'll let you say who you're picking. Then I picked Matt Hardy, Jurassic Express, and Big Swole.
Yeah, it's going to be Moxley. It's going to be FTR. It's going to be Thunder Rosa because they don't know what they're doing in that division. She'll probably win and then leave the company. Orange Cassidy, Jericho drinking a whole lot of bubbly. Darby Cheddar Melt Allen is going to win the Battle Royale. Give me Dark Order. Give me Sammy Guevara. Give me the Bucks. And oh God, this is the hardest one to pick. Is Britt Baker versus Big Swole.
Do it.
I literally just did.
I know you already picked Britt Baker.
I did. I just did a rant about why the best talker doesn't need to also have gold. This isn't for gold. This is just about bragging rights. I guess Britt Baker wins. They're going to further establish her as a 4 or 5 dimensional character. So give me Baker.
Well, we didn't get the amount of questions I was hoping for. So if you're listening on the podcast or watching us later on YouTube, we are going to try and go live on Thursdays, except this upcoming Thursday, Matt's going on vacation, so Mike and I got to work that out. And I was told I'm not allowed to bring my laptop. So we're going to figure something out for next week. But the following week, we are going to be Thursdays at 8:30 is going to be our normal time. Unless we can hear from everybody else. If you guys are like, fuck Thursdays. Go live. You can beat Impact Wrestling. Do it. Go live on Tuesdays. Just let us know. And we'll get it worked out. All right, everybody. Woo! Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. And if you're not watching us live, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Or I'm sorry, if you're not watching us live, find us live again Thursdays at 8:30 on YouTube and Facebook. And then you can always catch up on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and then it goes. It'll stick around on YouTube after that. So check out Brothers of Discussion on all of those different services. Anywhere you can find podcasts, you can find the Brothers of Discussion on Twitter at BOD Podcast, on Instagram at Brothers_of_discussion. And then the huge conversation, if you guys are hockey fans, check out on BOD Hockey and the now named Red Wings Rant podcast. We have the super famous Odd Man Rush from the UK talking hockey with us, talking about Red Wings prospects. So that was a super huge get. We're super excited about it. It was a fantastic conversation. It's supposed to go 20 minutes. We went an hour and a half. So a lot of good shit going there if you're a hockey fan. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one.